Good morning. It is 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday, July 29th, 2020. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I tell you what, Rocket is going through a chewing phase where he is just got to chew on everything. He's working real hard to find all sorts of things that I would rather he not chew on. But he is just compelled, whether it's cardboard boxes or books or the corner of the wall or anything that just seems to, you know, I feel like I imagine he is seeing the world currently a little bit like one of those video games where um, you walk around an environment, but then everything that you can interact with kind of glows a different color when you get close. I sort of feel like that's how he's seeing the world right now, where um, he walks around and he's seeing all these normal things, but then all of a sudden, um, something lights up, and he's like, "Oh, that's something that I could fit my jaws around without too much difficulty." So, just so far this morning, despite my attention, he tore a hole in my bed comforter and has now torn the corner off of a book on the bookshelf. And that is just like when I give him 10 seconds of inattention. He has currently, I have told him to stop enough that he's currently laid down and he's giving me sad eyes. And the thing is that, like, it's not like he doesn't have lots of things that I have bought him that are for the specific purpose of chewing on. But I will concede that as a corgi, I think that it is not as trivial for him to chew on a freestanding thing, like something that's not fixed in place, right? Because I think dogs with longer legs can sometimes like hold like a chew bone or a rawhide or something in place with their feet while they chew on it. And I think that's marginally more difficult for Rocket. But I mean, it's not like he doesn't manage sometimes. It's just, maybe slightly more difficult. But I think it's also just, it's a puppy thing. He feels compulsion to chew as a biological instinct, and I just have to, this is part of raising a puppy. It's you just gotta, boy. But yeah, that's the current phase that he's in. So we had a pretty good session of Dungeons and Dragons last night, I think, where we had the party um, discover a little bit of a new status quo regarding a character they've interacted with a bunch. They got to split themselves into 3 teams to kind of go on separate little subquests. Um, and then they accomplished something really big that's sort of been on the to-do list for a long time. But one of the things that everyone was kind of reflecting on after the episode wrapped was the to-do list is getting shorter. We're coming up to the end of the campaign, possibly. There's not that much left to do. And that feels a little bit, bittersweet for everybody, I think, because on the one hand, it's kind of neat to be able to sort of complete a story, but we've been running these characters for a long time, and I think people are, like they're a little reluctant to say goodbye. And we don't know exactly how many episodes left there are going to be. I think that's to some extent dependent on the players themselves, certainly in terms of what the characters decide to try to tackle. But yeah, we're getting there though, and yeah, so it's kind of interesting to approach that. I'm still just reflecting a lot on what that's going to mean and what might come next. Excuse me, goodness. But yeah, so that's exciting, and I'm, you know, sort of a little bit anxious anticipating that. But yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at this morning. Do you see? Did you just see the little puppy ears just in the corner of the screen right there? He's laying right there because one of the books that's on that shelf right there is one that he sort of just randomly decided had a corner he needed to chew on. So I have to kind of maintain an awareness while he's laying right there. But in any event, I'll leave it there and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.